Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining to today's Study Skills seminar. Um, Let me just go ahead and sit up to avoid any noise. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Diane Torres. Um, Thank you for joining us to our Study Skills seminar hosted by the FYS Peer Mentors. Um, we will be starting at 9:30. We might wait a couple of minutes just to, in case anyone else comes in and decides to join us. But meanwhile, I would love if you guys would introduce yourselves. My name is Diane, as I said before. The title for the seminar is Study Skills. If you could please sign in to the link posted in the chat. It's the bit.ly, um, and then it's /live workshop sign in. Okay. I have been a student at San Diego City College for about 4 years. My goal has been to be an accountant. So my major is in small business accounting. I'm looking to get my associates. And San Diego City College has helped me in achieving that goal by giving me that support, connecting me to resources that have guided me and helped me in throughout the whole process up to graduation, which I'm hoping to do this semester. If you are just joining in, thank you for joining. If you could please sign in to the bit.ly posted in the chat. And we're just going to wait a few more minutes um, for anyone who wants to join in. So once again, good morning. My name is Diane Torres. Welcome to our Study Skills seminar today. If you haven't done so yet, please sign in to the link posted in the chat. My name is Diane Torres. I am a peer mentor at San Diego City College, and my goal is to get my associate in small business accounting. I've been at San Diego City College for about 4 years, and City has helped me with guiding me with resources and connecting me with counselors to be able to get to my goal. Um, Now, if you could share with me who is joining us so that we can connect with you better. I want to introduce our chat moderator today. Her name is Edwidge Depart. She will be assisting me with the chat. If you have any questions or concerns, you can add it in the chat. Um, she is our peer advocate coordinator, so she is helping us today with the um, chat. And if you have any questions, I can see them. I'll answer them throughout the presentation, and she will be answering them as well in the chat. Us at the Peer Mentor Lab, we are available to assist you in your admissions applications. Right now, because we're online, we're available through the Peer Mentor line, and you can call us through Google Voice. We can help you connect you with resources offered at City College and support you in your academic goals through your journey at City College. Part of our support includes seminars like these ones, and these are made to help you build skills and connect you with faculty and staff. With today's seminar, our goal is to help you be better in your study skills. Being that we're in May, a lot of you are looking into finals soon. And so we really want to help you not only be successful as a student, but also enable you to study and learn efficiently because these skills will not only help you today in your college classes, but also in your professional development. And in the future, if you ever want to learn a new skill or, something like learning a new language or a simple chore or hobby that you're looking to do in the future, this can help you um, better study, not study harder, but smarter. Okay, so I will get started. And for those of you who have just recently joined in, thank you for joining. And if you have not done so yet, please sign in to the sign in form that's in the chat. Okay. Now, we want to talk today about active listening and taking notes during lecture. So, active listening involves um, the act of concentrating and thinking about what is being presented, avoiding distractions. So that means if you have or if your phone is something that you get easily distracted from, um, then you want to put that on silent or put it in your backpack away from you that is less distracting to you. Also, being selective in note taking. So it's similar to when you're highlighting important points in your textbook, you're not highlighting the whole page. You want to highlight the main points. So note taking is similar. You have to be selective about what you're taking notes on, especially during the lecture. It's hard sometimes to keep up with the professor. So you should only be jotting down what's the important information of the lecture is. And to reiterate, active listening and active learning increases long-term memory retention, understanding of material, and grade results, but its involvement is greater than just hearing. So hearing is just a physical act of hearing what someone is saying. So yeah, you hear noise, but when you are active listening, that means that you're understanding the message and you're able to paraphrase it back and put it in your own words. So this habit of listening closely, listening actively will greatly help you and impact in your study skills. So continuing on, here is the lovely curve of forgetting. So this curve of forgetting is, as you can see, gives you the highs and the lows of studying. So whenever it's something about studying, you either use it or lose it, especially when you're learning a new skill. Now, why do we forget important information? Well, because sometimes when we learn something, we're not using it, we're not practicing it. And we need to practice it to be able to actually learn it and for it to really stay in our head. So as you can see in this graph, day one, when you learn the material, that's when you're more able to paraphrase the information back, to you're actively replaying what you just learned. But as you continue throughout the day one, day two, it starts decreasing. Up until day 30, you might not remember everything, maybe certain phrases, but not everything involved that you learned. Where if you're learning something and then using it constantly or studying about it, practicing it, day one is the peak, but day two, you're going in waves. You study for 10 minutes, you still remember the information. Day seven, because you've been practicing and studying the information, even with just a few minutes, in this case five, you're still remembering and retaining that information. Where until day 30, even though maybe you're only studying a little bit, but you're actively able to replay the information in your head and your mind because you used it instead of forgetting about it and not studying actively throughout the week or throughout the month. Now, the other thing that we have to keep in mind when developing our study skills is time schedule and avoid cramming. So the most memory retention is produced when the student studies closest to the day that the information was presented, as opposed to when you're studying closer to that exam day. So as you saw in the graph before the slide, because you just learned the information, that first day is the moment where your memory is more fresh. And so you know the information. But as the days go along, you start forgetting, because especially if you didn't study or if you're not practicing it. And when it comes to the exam day, if you only keep the information and didn't study for it throughout the um, the days before the exam, then that's what's going to show on the exam. But if you're studying a little bit every day, it's more likely that you retain more information throughout that exam period. So that's why we recommend studying and scheduling yourself specific time frames of study in increments spaced out to better retain the information. And never wait till the last days before your exam to study. Because as you saw before on the slide before, the peak is on the first day, and then by the end, it's at the lowest point. Where if you're studying constantly, you retain that information. Now, I want to approach this topic, and that is learning styles. Now, learning styles are very important because not everyone learns the same way. Everyone has a different learning style. Now, when learning your learning style, understand that this can depend on various things. It can also depend on the subject that you're learning. So this is very general. But most of you already are familiar with a type of learning style. You're more familiar with one than the other. So we have the auditory learner who is able to understand information by listening to it. You prefer using sound and music, where kinesthetic learners like to use their body, their hands, their sense of touch. Then we have the visual learner who is able to um, see images, pictures, and they're able to understand in the form of um, reading, writing, all of that. Now, all of these, they overlap. So some people they're better at um, physical and auditory learning. There's those who are visual kinesthetic, visual auditory kinesthetic. So as you can see, they overlap so that when you're learning, you're not only learning one way, you can learn multiple ways, but you want to find the best learning style for you. Okay. Before we go into note-taking formats, I do want to, if someone here is just joining us, thank you for joining us. My name is Diane Torres, and if you could please sign in to the sign-in form that's on the chat, our chat, Edwidge has kindly put it on the chat. If you could please sign in, and thank you once again for taking the time and joining us to this study skills seminar. Now let's talk about note-taking formats. Note-taking formats depends also on the subject, but on your learning style. So we have 4 types. We have outlining, Cornell notes, the flowcharts or concept mapping, and then we have charting. So let's go over each one and how these work. Okay. So the first one we want to talk about is the outline. Now with outlining notes, as you can see, you start with a subject and then you want to focus on the main ideas and supporting details to those main ideas. This is especially helpful with essay writing, because when you're doing essay writing, there's a main topic, the subject of the report or the essay, and then you're writing about 3 or 5, however many main ideas you're trying to talk about in your essay or in your report, and then you're adding those supporting details, be it by quotes from a book or by research. So you want to jot down all of these main ideas. Now, when you're studying, let's say for a test, as you can see on the right side, it says psychology basics. And so the main point would be, what is psychology? And then as you can see, the next point is the definition of psychology. And then that would be the supporting detail to what psychology is. And then it's also pointing out applications and more information on what psychology is. And so that's what you want to study. This is helpful not only to essays, but when you want to study in general specific topics with their supporting details. And you can put these supporting details can be definitions, So like vocabulary, or they can just be research or quotes. And so this is one type of note taking that's very helpful. Now, Cornell Notes, if you can see the image on the screen, there are several ways of going with your Cornell Notes, but the general idea is that on the left side, there's a vertical separation on one side of a vertical column, and then on the right side, there's lines where you can take more notes. So on the left side, on the left column, you would write cues or some extra notes from your main points, maybe the main ideas, so vocabulary, and then on the note section, you would write the definitions, or even you can star or highlight something important on the cue section. On the notes part, you can separate that to where you're taking notes during class only, and then on the cue section, you're only writing notes after class, so things that you've meditated after class. And then on this note section, you want to focus on main points, on bullet points, diagrams, or charts that came up during lecture. You can abbreviate what you heard in the lecture, paraphrase. You can even add the outline, so you can merge several note-taking techniques. But you want to leave space between topics in case you want to add something after. This note-taking method allows you to create a summary. So at the very end of each page. And this is usually written after class, highlighting the main points in your notes in general. And this can help you later on, but this also can help you when you're studying, to where you're reviewing that information so that you can better retain it. Now on the right side, this is an example of what a Cornell note page would look like. So if you notice on the right side, they have the theories, their main points, the explanation of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and then on the left side, they have that cue column to that bullet point, to that main point that they have on the right. And then they put the theory on the right side, but then if you notice, they specified the page that they could find in their textbook, that theory information. And they even posed the question, why do some believe in this theory? So it's something that they can use for review and study. And then there's the summary area where they explain what the whole note-taking area was about, and they can come back and review it after for better retention. If you guys have any questions that come up, you're welcome to ask them in the chat. I am reviewing them, and Edwidge can answer them as well. Okay. Now the flow chart or charting. Now this flow chart technique is especially helpful with learning new concepts and how they connect with each other. The goal of using a flow chart is that you really want to simplify the information, but you also want to visualize and be creative with, you know, arrows and how they connect. So if you notice on the right side on this notebook page, there's a concept that they're trying to learn. What is Bayes' theorem? And so they wrote out the theorem, then they wrote out a point, they drew an arrow that connects it. So that's the main theorem. And then within that theorem, they wrote out the 3 main points, the formulas, and how they connect with each other, how they relate to each other. This is helpful also in history class when there's one event that connects several other outcomes or consequences. And this can also be seen as a timeline map on the left corner, where there's 3 different sheets of paper, but they're written within each timeline, and how each connect and ended up influencing in one way or another the other event. This can also help you in essay writing. So when you're doing essays, you have this main idea or main point that you want to approach, and then you can jot down your main ideas and how they connect and how you can make it come full circle. Okay. Now, note-taking techniques. So to summarize what we just saw in the past slides, we want to actively listen. Remember, active listening, it's just not only doing the physical act of hearing, but it's listening to understand whatever is being taught to you before critically understanding and before reviewing the information. You want to identify the main ideas, and we saw how you could do that through the outline method, the Cornell notes, the flowchart technique of note taking. You also want to figure out what works for you. So depending on your learning style and how you learn the individual subject, you want to figure that out for yourself, um, so that it the technique that you use is more effective for you. Now, make sure you can read your own notes. So when you're going back to review the information that was just taught or that you just wrote down, you want to make sure you're able to review them and you're not questioning your own writing. This can help you better study. And you also want to stay organized. So make sure you know where your notes are. It's easy to get a notebook that's for several subjects and keep them together, or a binder if it's more easier for you, and get dividers for each class. Now, here's an exam study tip. Part of study skills is also preparing for that exam. And so you also, being that you studied along, done already your note taking techniques, decided what type of notes you want to take, you also want to create a study list. Why is this important? Well, if you're preparing for an exam, you want to know and assess your knowledge and strengths. You want to know what you've retained, what you know, and you positively can um, paraphrase back from what you learned. And so whatever you don't feel sure about, you really want to fortify your knowledge. So you want to review all your classes, make a list of all your classes, see what the assignment or exam will focus on. So maybe the professor has made it clear that the chapter or the exam is going to be a certain chapter or a combination of a chapter or a book. You want to go over that or the study guide if the professor has provided it, and then go over that list and see what you know and what you don't know, so that you can give yourself more time to study over the things that you're not really sure of. Okay? And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. And thank you all for joining us. If you have not signed in to the workshop link that's on the chat, please sign in. Now, another way or another thing to keep in mind when you're studying and want to study efficiently is to know the best time of day that is for you. So some people are early birds, some are night owls. So whatever time of day you feel more energetic, more ready to study, you want to use it as much as possible, so that your studying isn't just about quantity. So you're not only studying a certain amount of hours, but it's also quality studying time, where you know that you're actively learning and reviewing the information. Make studying during your best time of day a habit too. So if you know that you're really into, or you can really concentrate, your best time of day is between 12 and 2, make sure to maybe schedule yourself that 2 hours study time and make it a habit, make it part of your routine. This habit then will significantly reduce your stress, because you're not as stressed to um, you're not worrying constantly about relearning the information. And it also creates positive reinforcement for you towards studying in general, because you see the good results from your studying and from studying during the best time of day for you. So by creating this a routine, can significantly reduce your stress and also improve your studying in general. Now, another tip for study skills is studying in a group. Now, you want to choose the members of your group wisely. Make sure that they're centered in what you're studying, because you don't want to have where the group, instead of studying, is deviating towards different topics or just about having fun. So the benefits of group studying, when it's done right, can help you significantly improve your study skills, because because there's different people and they have learning styles and different learning techniques. Everyone has different perspectives, and with these different perspectives, these bring higher understanding to a topic or a subject being discussed. You're also learning and observing new study habits and skills during your group study sessions, because they're bringing out their notes, they're reviewing the notes with you, and there's this back and forth feedback. Now, the other thing that group studying helps with is that when one group member struggles in a certain subject, another group member can help them. And so there's that help right then and there. What's cool about this part where you're helping each other understand concepts is that if you're the one teaching someone else, because you're retaining the information and paraphrasing it back to someone else, you yourself are practicing it. So it's better retention for you, better understanding for you, and more success for you in that portion of study. Also, when you're in the group study, you have more support and you have more motivation to study, because you're looking forward to studying with that group, that they're able to um, help you understand. They're there for you and you're there for them. When it comes to something that you're not sure, you know that you can rely on them to help you understand. Another useful tool to study is the professor's office hours. So, a great advantage of community college is the availability of our instructors to be able to help students. They're able to connect with students because the classes are smaller than maybe at university. It's easier for them to connect with you and for you to connect with them. You can introduce yourself and ask questions. They're eager to help you. Any confusions about any of your course material can be addressed with that professor one on one. And remember that all of these professors were once college students. So at some point, they also went through something like, being at community college. So you can help or get help from your professor in finding the study technique that works best for you. They can also guide you through the right path in terms of their teaching style and course material, because they created the course material. And another thing to keep in mind that I think it's great about reaching out to your professor is that for them to have studied so many years in that specific subject, it means that they're very passionate about about what they're teaching. So you can ask for that help and they'll be happy to help you, because it's something that they're passionate about and passionate enough to teach someone else about it. So they're excited to help you, and not only finding your teaching style, but helping you understand better the information that they're teaching. Now, for right now, for online classes, um, maybe not be might be office hours that you can approach your professor in. You might have to send an email or connect them through Canvas. But I encourage you, if even during online classes, when it's a little bit different that you're not face to face with someone else, to either email them or you can connect with them and make an appointment. If you go over the syllabus, it'll tell you what's the best way for you to communicate with your professor. Okay. So this is the end of the presentation on study skills. So thank you so much for staying for the whole seminar. I hope you found these study skills helpful. Please complete our online evaluation for this seminar. It is in the um, chat the Peer Mentor Lab, we're here and our services are now available. You can look at our screen. We are on Google Voice. You can call us at 619-800-2739. You can make an appointment for Zoom assistance at the bit.ly on the screen, or you can email us at stcitycollegepeeradvocates@gmail.com. And if you liked our seminar, we're also live on social media. If you would like to receive live updates on student resources or more live seminars like this one or support services, you can either subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can follow us on Instagram at SD City FYS, on Facebook um, at SD City FYS, or Twitter, which is the same username, so you can find us more easily at SD City FYS. And we are updating it as often as possible so that you guys can get as many live updates and student resources as possible. Um, we want to help you, and just as City College has helped us, we want to give you that support and those resources. If you have any questions, or if you have not signed in on the form that's on the chat, please sign in if you haven't done so. Please fill out the evaluation seminar. That would be very helpful for us, just as feedback. If um, you know, if we can do anything better, if there's anything else or any specific topic you would like to see. If you would like to get added to the Canvas show, we are, or Eddie is going to put a sign in or form on the chat where it gives you or allows you to fill it out, and then we can add you to the Canvas show. This Through Canvas, you can receive live support from a peer mentor, as well as receive information on resources on campus. So please fill that out at the respective link. And as I said before, we are available to assist you with your admissions and FAFSA applications. We can connect you with resources offered by City College and support you in your academic goals through your journey at City College. Part of our support includes seminars like this one, which is made to help you build skills and connect you with faculty and staff. We're available Mondays through Fridays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. through Google Voice and Zoom, to which you can make an appointment on the link in the chat. And in the future, if you need any assistance, you can connect with us on our website, which you can search for sdcity.edu/student/services/peerlab. And you can call us for support as well at 619-800-2739, or email us at sdcitycollegepeeradvocates@gmail.com. And once again, if you want to know about our upcoming events and seminars, we are live on Facebook and Instagram at sdcityfys. And if you want to get notified whenever we go live on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel to get notified of our live workshops. These are the dates of our upcoming seminars. So we have, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining. Our upcoming seminars are during these dates. So for study skills, the next one is Monday, May 25th at 10 a.m. So the week of finals. And the workshop link is the same one as today. Now, if you're interested in how to survive and thrive during finals, we'll be going over some tips on how you can study for your finals, how you can reduce stress, what to keep in mind for that week when you're studying. The workshop we have for this topic will be next Tuesday, May 12th at 11 a.m. And then that same week, May 14th at 3 p.m. And we're doing this a week or 2 weeks before finals, because we want you to go over this information for you so that that week you're better prepared for your finals and you go into that week less stressed, hopefully. So we thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us in the seminar, taking your time out of your day to um, watch us go over this information and um, you know, follow us on social media to stay updated. Please fill out that seminar evaluation. Call us for support if you need to. And thank you and have a great day.